We are back. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas. We're going to go straight to your calls as people have been holding for quite some time. 888-201-2244. That's 888-201-2244 if you want your voice to be heard this hour on the InfoWarrior. Let's go to Mike in Iowa. Mike, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, this is Mike. I sent you those 2 Franklin scandal books way back when in the day, and I found out what I'm going to do with your new movie coming out on the 15th of April.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to at least get 2 copies, one for Senator Tom Harkin, and I'm going to give him a copy of a Franklin scandal to go with it, because, well, if they can't read the book, they can watch the movie.
And let me say this about that book. That book has about a 45-page bibliography where they are just the raw documents. Now, I didn't use anything directly from that book. However, some of the scans are from some of the Washington Times articles. There's not just that one that shows, that big cover that says homosexual VIP prostitution ring in Bush, Reagan, White House. That's the big one everybody sees, but they actually kept up on the story for about 2 months. And it really intertwined with Barney Frank and his live-in lover / male prostitute / guy running a prostitution ring that was connected to this same prostitution ring out of his apartment in D.C. That gentleman's name is Stephen Goby. So I totally and completely recommend the Franklin Scandal. I hope people check it out because it really is, Mike, the next level in research from the original Franklin cover-up book.
The reason why that I'm going to give that to the senator is that I'm also going to give it to the Governor Clover, copy of your movie and the book, is because Johnny Gosch was kidnapped in 1982 while trying to deliver the Des Moines Register newspaper, and people just stopped delivering the newspaper when they were kids. They wouldn't let their kids do that anymore, and that started a time in 1982 when things really changed during, when the Reagan-Bush, right in that time.
That is true, and people don't understand, Mike. People do not understand that there are tens of thousands of children every year in this country that disappear and poof, they're gone forever. There really is no investigation. There is nobody that cares. Why is that? Where are these kids going? Why don't we prosecute at the highest levels pedophiles? Why is it that priests get away with what they do? Why is it that we have a documentary out there called Deliver Us from Evil, where a sadistic priest pedophile is the main character, and he's not in jail? There's this really spooky, disturbing part where they're talking to him, and he's outside of a playground filled with children. He admits on camera that he's actually starting to get turned on. I wanted to puke in my mouth. I think I did puke in my mouth a little. There's a reason, because some of these people at the top are into child pedophilia. They like to have sex with young boys and girls as though it's a sport. Could there be anything more revolting? Could there be anything more morally decadent and repulsive? I think not. Appreciate the call, Mike. We got to move on. Let's go to Julio in Illinois. Julio, you're on the line.
Jason, how are you this evening, sir?
Good, good.
All right, maybe something, I don't know if you can add this to your movie or not, but alternative features for 2025, security planning to avoid surprise, Air Force White Paper, April 96, Chapter 4. It's a future world called Zaibatsu. I'll spell it out, Zaibapsu, and I'll read a quote from it. It's a Japanese term for family corporation held together by economic bonds. But in this world, it means much more. It's dominated by corporate and economic interests. Multinational corporations have become extremely powerful and have loosely bonded together to serve their financial interests. And, it just talks about maximizing their profits for managed growth. And it's just really manipulating the world power grid. And they talk about also they couldn't predict the 2009 influenza vaccine that's going on right now. This is in 1996. This is April 96.
Mm-hmm. And well, when they repeat the same script over and over and over and over and over again, it's not a surprise that they're able to predict things like the influenza outbreak that really never happened. Okay, what we had was a 3 type of flu virus, a combination of bird flu H5N1, pig flu H1N1, and human flu virus that they just lied and said magically happened. Just magically happened. And then they said you needed to be vaccinated for swine flu just like they did back in 76. Then the same problems of Guillain-Barré and much, much more occurred. Thank God the majority of the public did not buy into this fear-mongering. I don't think I'm going to be able to include that document, but just today I put in this CIA document where they talk about being the CIA and the New World Order. And it's all about the CIA up until 2015. It's a document wrote in February of 2000. But I can guarantee you there's plenty of documents. There's over 100 New World Order quotes in the film, many of which are not on YouTube, are not in any other picture, are original research. And I cannot wait to release this thing. I can't wait to put out another trailer. And I need all of your support out there. I need you to get the links to people. I need you to make this a big hit on YouTube, because I'm hoping that Invisible Empire does for the quote-unquote patriot movement and the term New World Order what Loose Change did for 9/11 conspiracies and the 9/11 Truth movement. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Carl in Houston. Carl, you're on the line.
Hey, man, how you doing there?
All right.
Look, I had a couple of things I wanted to, and actually about 3 things. One, I know Lindsay was on the show a few days ago, Lindsay Williams, and after I bigged them up, I was quickly taken off. I couldn't answer my question, but I think it was kind of like a question and response. And one of the things that I wanted to mention was, I know that Alex has had this question that he's repeatedly said on the show, that I'm wondering why this information is getting out, why they're allowing you or someone like Jesse Ventura to get the information out, and why the show has been allowed to be on air.
Are we talking about like the Alex Jones show? Hold on, are we talking about like the Alex Jones show and this show here, the InfoWarrior, why it's allowed to exist?
Yeah, and also, for example, let's say the Jesse Ventura show, the conspiracy theory show. And I'm like, well, if what Lindsay said about their corrupt way of doing their handlings, all these elite, but yet in their creed, they have to get the information out. Wouldn't you think this would be one of those ways to get the information out, is just tell people so they look at it and go, yeah, that's crazy. Well, all the while, this is really true, and they think that...
well, I think that this... Well, let me stop you. Let me just stop you for a second, Nate. Why do they allow this information to get out? What are they supposed to do? I mean, they take out an Alex Jones, they kill a Jason Bermas, somebody else pops up. You know, you can't just kill every single messenger. You can try to discredit them in the media. You can try to have infighting. You can try to have other people attack them. You can use COINTELPRO methods. But the bottom line is there's always going to be somebody who goes through the mainstream media, which Alex and I do on a daily basis, and bring you the little snippets of truth that leak through talks like Bill Gates gave at the 2010 TED conference. The IPCC truth, the plutonomy documents. You know, when these documents are from 2005 and were leaked some time ago. You never heard them until today on the InfoWarrior or on the Alex Jones show, but someone like Michael Moore can put them out there, and the press still ignores them. So I don't know if the elite really want all this information out there. I just feel like they can't. It's not the 60s anymore. They just can't kill whoever they want. In the days of the lone assassination, it's not the 80s anymore. It's not even the early 90s when they can take out a guy like Gary Webb, who basically exposes the connections between Iran-Contra, drug dealing in Los Angeles, California, and much, much more. I mean, that guy was obviously murdered. I think we're in an era where they can still get away with killing the occasional whistleblower on the inside like a David Kelly, but they could never get away with the outright murder of someone like myself or Alex Jones. And if they were to do that, it would really, I mean, just like in Star Wars, I think it would make us 10 times stronger. So that's my take on that, Nate.